Dust off your VHS imagination. The 1970s birthed rocket fuel storytelling that still crackles today. These 12 classics aren't just nostalgia, they're essential viewing that map the DNA of modern sci-fi. From moon-based mysteries to cybernetic supermen, each series below forge tropes your current favorites shamelessly borrow. Strap in, smash that subscribe button, and let's time warp to television's most daring decade. 1. Battlestar Galactica, 1978-79. Cylons torch the 12 colonies. Humanity flees aboard a single war-scarred Battlestar, led by steely Commander Adama and haunted Captain Apollo, chasing a whispered myth called Earth. Premiering in the wake of Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica soared beyond clone accusations by weaving space opera with spiritual dread. Egyptian iconography stamped Viper helmets, while composer Stu Phillips' booming fanfare baptized Sunday nights into pew-shaking ritual. Yet what truly cements Galactica as mandatory viewing is its refusal to paint escape as triumph. The fleet's cramped corridors echo with survivors' guilt, political infighting, and whispered heresy, mirrors to any society scrambling after catastrophe. The ragtag civilian Quorum questions Adama's war footing. Hotshot Starbuck gambles rations while mourning lost comrades. And the alien Cylons, though metallic, evoke chilling fascist persistence. Modern reboots, yes, including Sci-Fi's brilliant 2000s iteration, owe everything to this template. Serialized arcs orbiting around faith, identity, and the murky ethics of wartime command. Watching the original now is like unearthing a sacred text. Marvel at John Dykstra's pioneering model shots. Then feel the gut punch when the refugee fleet loses yet another ship to engine failure, not lasers. That sobering realism sets Galactica apart. Humanity's worst enemy isn't always chrome. Sometimes it's exhaustion, greed, and fear rattling inside the last safe hull. Second Space, 1999, 1975-77. September 13th, 1999. A nuclear waste detonation rips Earth's moon from orbit, flinging Moonbase Alpha and its 311 inhabitants into deep space. That outrageous premise fueled Jerry and Sylvia Anderson's most ambitious live-action venture, marrying their model work mastery to philosophical scripts worthy of Kubrick. Commander John Koenig and Dr. Helena Russell navigate cosmic anomalies, sentient nebulae, psychic parasites, godlike beings, while the runaway moon becomes an existential lifeboat. What makes space? 1999. Essential isn't just the gorgeous Eagle transporters or Barry Gray's haunting score. It's the show's audacity to treat science fiction as cosmic horror. Each episode asks, when we confront the unknowable, do we adapt or unravel? The Alphans face time loops that age infants into elders overnight, planets that manifest their subconscious, and black suns that whisper primordial truths. The series juxtaposes sterile 70s decor, Ronda-esque orange chairs, blank white corridors, against psychedelic space vistas, reinforcing the thin membrane between order and chaos. Watch it today, and you'll spot DNA strands later spliced into Event Horizon, Sunshine, and even Interstellar. Through all its model explosions and disco-era fashion, Space, 1999 retains a sublime terror. The idea that humanity, hurled from home by its own hubris, must evolve spiritually or perish amid the stars. 3. Doctor Who, The Pertwee and Baker Years, 1970-79. The 1970s witnessed the third and fourth incarnations of the time-traveling Doctor, the dashing Venusian karate master, John Pertwee, and the wide-eyed, scarf-swirling icon, Tom Baker. Exiled to Earth at first, the Doctor tackled Autons, Sea Devils, and his suave arch-nemesis, the Master, all while partnering with Unit's Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart in what amounted to BBC's budget-savvy Bond franchise. Later, freed to roam time, Baker's Doctor delivered gothic space horrors, mummies on Mars, devilish black holes, and genetic Ubermen. Why must you watch? Because modern Who's DNA, quirky hero, fast talk, techno-babble, compassionate defiance, crystallized here. Pertwee-infused action swagger, piloting hovercrafts and motorcycles, making altruism look cool in velvet. Baker then swung the pendulum to eccentric rebellion, lampshading every corridor chase with anarchic grin, yet selling gut-wrenching stakes when companions faced existential doom. Serial structure forced 4-part cliffhangers that taught showrunners how to escalate tension within shoestring sets. These years also pioneered social commentary. The Green Death tackled corporate pollution. Genesis of the Daleks framed genocide as moral quandary. Watch them remastered, and you'll forgive rubber tentacles because the scripts debate destiny versus choice, science versus soul, timeless themes swirling beneath colorful bubble wrap monsters. In short, if you skip 1970s Doctor Who, you're ignoring the Rosetta Stone of time travel television. 4. The $6 Million Man, 1973 to 78. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. With those words, test pilot Steve Austin's shattered body became the blueprint for cyborg heroism. Outfitted with bionic legs, right arm, and telescopic eye, Austin tackled espionage missions for the Office of Scientific Intelligence at a then mind-blowing price tag of $6 million. Slow-motion leaps and na-na-na-na sound effects etched themselves into pop culture, but the series' staying power lies deeper. Each mission balanced Cold War thrills with ethical cost-benefit analysis. What defines humanity when limbs can be upgraded? Episodes like The $7 Million Man juxtaposed Austin's humility with another cyborg's arrogance, warning of arms race escalation. Meanwhile, Lee Majors grounded superhuman feats with Texan earnestness, conveying chronic phantom pain and emotional isolation between stunt crashes and helicopter takedowns. The show's influence is easy to trace, from cyberpunk novels to RoboCop and Iron Man, yet revisiting the original illuminates a quieter triumph. Early seasons approach disability and bodily autonomy with unexpected sensitivity, letting Austin mentor kids with prosthetics and grieve lost physicality, even while outrunning cars. Watching in 4K today, the miniatures wobble, but the heart remains titanium. Before Marvel stitched vibranium into spandex, the $6 Million Man had already asked the real question: if our parts are replaceable, what makes the spirit priceless? 5. The Bionic Woman, 1976 to 78. High school teacher Jamie Summers is just getting her groove back when a skydiving accident turns bones to powder. Enter the Office of Scientific Intelligence and its hush-hush cybernetics division. Titanium ligaments, micro-mesh muscle fibers, and one sonar-sharp ear later, Jamie awakens stronger, faster, and, most importantly, free to write her own mission parameters. While the $6 Million Man ponders the price of power, the Bionic Woman charges straight at the question of identity. Jaime isn't a government asset. She's a human being who happens to clock 70 miles per hour on a track. Week after week, she wrestles with dualities: covert ops versus classroom, national security versus personal ethics, lover of Steve Austin versus woman carving her own legend. The show's feminist pulse never fades. Episodes task her with dismantling biochemical terror plots, yes, but also with shielding vulnerable kids who see her as proof that limitations can be rewritten. Actress Lindsay Wagner imbues each jump cut super leap with empathy. Her whispered pep talks resonate louder than the bionic sound effect. Watch today, and you'll spot seeds of every conflicted heroine from Alias to Jessica Jones. More than a spin-off, The Bionic Woman became the blueprint for stories where saving the world means first saving yourself from a system that wants to claim your body. Jaime's fight is timeless. Her metallic tendons merely glitter, wrapping around a furious human heartbeat. 6th UFO, 1970 to 71. Purple-wigged moonbase operators, gull-wing interceptors, and chrome submarines. UFO looks like pure mod sugar, yet beneath the vinyl lies bleak paranoia. It's 1980, according to series canon, and extraterrestrial raiders harvest human organs. To stop them, former test pilot Ed Straker runs Shadow, a secret defense force buried beneath a London film studio. Every laser blast and dogfight hides a darker cost. Maintaining secrecy means sacrificing marriages, friendships, even innocence. The show's greatest weapon is restraint. Episodes linger on Straker's exhausted eyes as radar pings echo like ticking guilt. When interception vectors fail, cold executive decisions dispatch pilots who might not return. If they do, they're greeted by sterile lights instead of ticker tape. Special effects by Derek Meddings give dogfights a visceral crunch. Miniatures shatter, oxygen roils, and viewers realize this isn't glamorous Starfleet heroism, but covert trench warfare across low Earth orbit. Why must you watch? Because UFO predicted the clandestine calculus of modern geopolitics in space. It's the missing link between 1960s, Thunderbird's optimism, and the lethal realism of The Expanse. Strip away the silver jumpsuits and you're staring at today's headlines about anti-satellite weapons and orbital debris treaties. Few series capture the price of endless vigilance so unflinchingly, or wrap existential dread in such hypnotic futurist style. 7. The Incredible Hulk, 1977 to 82. A gamma experiment meant to unlock human potential instead unleashes the green-muscled ID of Dr. David Banner, turning him into a fugitive whose every heartbeat threatens metamorphosis. Bill Bixby's Banner is the soul of wounded decency, wandering small-town America, offering medical miracles for room and board, always one panic attack away from Lou Ferrigno's roaring juggernaut. Unlike its comic book cousins, the series grounds super strength in aching loneliness. Banner befriends widows, protects runaways, cures addictions, only to vanish before sunrise lest investigative reporter Jack McGee blow his cover. Each, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry," transformation smashes more than scenery. It shatters any chance at permanence. Yet those crescendos matter because of the hushed minutes before. Piano melancholy as Banner mends an old truck. Tender smiles over diner coffee. Modern superhero films feast on crossover spectacles. But The Incredible Hulk teaches the power of the standalone tragedy. It's a road movie anthology where the monster inside illustrates our own suppressed rage, then shoulders the consequences. Rewatch and feel the sting when Banner, drenched in rain, hikes another lonely mile under Joe Harnell's plaintive theme. That tune isn't merely sad, it's a lullaby for anyone chasing redemption they fear they'll never catch. 8. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, 1979 to 81. A NASA Ranger pilot is accidentally frozen during a deep space probe and thawed 5 centuries later amid neon skylines, gliding starfighters, and disco ball diplomacy. Suddenly, Captain William Buck Rogers must grasp laser etiquette, drone companions, and interstellar intrigue, all while rocking 1970s swagger in a 2490 world. What sets Buck Rogers apart is its unabashed pulp energy. Stories swing from space pirate raids to gladiatorial arenas, mixing smirking one-liners with legitimate commentary on authoritarian technocracies. Gil Gerard imbues Buck with everyman cheek, making the future accessible rather than alien. Aaron Gray's Colonel Wilma Deering pairs steel discipline with humanitarian instincts, creating a partnership that zings beyond rote will they, won't they tropes. Watch closely, and you'll note the series' sneaky versatility. Some episodes riff spy thrillers with holographic disguises, others tackle ecological collapse via planetary plagues. The production's candy floss palette masks surprising grit. Villains peddle slavery, techno-class divides, and bioweapons. In this bright carnival, darkness lurks behind the mirror ball glint. Revisiting now feels like time travel into a future that never was, yet still might be. One where humanity's spirit, not just its gadgets, rides shotgun. Beneath sequin jumpsuits lie questions of identity, responsibility, and culture shock resilience. Buck's charm isn't escapism, it's optimism that no matter how strange tomorrow looks, courage and kindness can still feel right at home. 9th Planet of the Apes, 1974. Astronauts Alan Verdon and Pete Burke don't just overshoot their re-entry point, they slingshot into AD 3085, crash landing on an Earth where apes rule and humans scavenge. Unlike the 1968 film's nuclear twist Gut Punch, the TV series trades shock for simmering allegory. Each episode sends the fugitives and their chimpanzee, Allie Galen, trekking through agrarian ape provinces and ruined human cities, searching for a way home while dodging guerrilla patrols. What makes this adaptation indispensable isn't its budget, but its courage to dismantle prejudice in prime time. Guerrilla General Urko's iron fist mirrors Cold War militarism. Orangutan bureaucrats spout faux piety that sounds eerily like segregationist rhetoric. Verdon and Burke, stripped of 20th century privilege, experience bigotry firsthand, turning cultural critique into visceral stakes. Watch now, and you'll spot DNA strands later, spliced into falling skies and The Walking Dead. Humans, inhuman alliances, nomadic story arcs, moral debates over resistance violence. The show's final note may remain unresolved. Cancellation sealed the astronaut's fate. But its themes echo louder today. When societies flip tables of power, who clings to compassion? Planet of the Apes offers no easy answers, only the haunting question. What defines civilization? Fur, flesh, or the choices we make under fear? 10th Blake's 7, 1978-81. Before grimdark was a buzzword, the BBC unleashed Raj Blake, an unjustly branded terrorist who hijacks the alien warship Liberator and forms television's most morally tangled rebellion. His crew, a hot-wired sociopath genius, a cynical smuggler, a telepath scarred by Federation labs, and a thief who will betray anyone for an extra credit chit. Space battles crackle, but the real detonation is ideological. Can liberation bloom from such poisoned roots? Each season peels another layer of hope, spinning cliffhangers that make Game of Thrones look merciful. Heroes die mid-sentence, alliances rot faster than hole plating, and victory moments splinter into ethical rubble. Yet the show's low-budget corridors amplify its punk pulse. Every scuffed console whispers that revolutions start with broken tools and fiercer wills. Why must you watch? Because Blake and arch-nemesis Servalan, power suit charisma incarnate, pioneered the chessboard duel of ideals that modern prestige sci-fi lives on. From Firefly to Andor, every scrappy crew-bucking empire debt pays royalties here. The final episode, no spoilers, remains television's most savage mic drop, daring viewers to decide whether freedom is worth the blood on one's own hands. 11. Star Trek, the animated series, 1973-74. Gene Roddenberry's 5-year mission found unexpected warp extension in Saturday morning animation, reuniting Shatner, Nimoy, and most original cast voices for tales unshackled by live-action physics. Suddenly, the Enterprise toured lagoon planets where gravity inverted mid-orbit, met 50-foot silicon dragons, and cruised Jefferies tubes wide enough for Andorian aqua shuttles. Dismiss it as kiddie Trek, and you'll miss canon gold. The holodeck's conceptual prototype, the practical Joker, Spock's teenage angst on Vulcan, yesteryear, and First Officer Uhura assuming command long before franchise films caught up. Freed from studio sets, writers like D.C. Fontana dove into abstract cosmology, energy beings who debug timelines, extinct races revived as data ghosts, and antimatter universes populated by negative mass whales. Animation quirks, repeat walk cycles, psychedelic palettes, now read as mid-century art charm. More crucially, the series preserves Star Trek's moral spine during a franchise lull, teaching a new generation that diplomacy outranks photon torpedoes. Binge it today, and you'll glimpse storyboards for later live-action marvels. Voyager's Bride of Chaotica, Lower Decks freeform lunacy. In 22 brisk episodes, TS proves imagination, not budget, is the final frontier. 12. Sapphire and Steel, 1979-82. Two enigmatic operatives, cool, telepathic Sapphire and dour, reality-warping Steel, arrive whenever time itself fractures. Their missions unfold in claustrophobic locales. A rural station where nursery rhymes summon revenants, a deserted skyscraper haunted by World War I soldiers, a service station café frozen outside history. Special effects, nearly none. Terror, off the charts. The genius lies in atmosphere. Low lighting and echoing corridors let viewers' minds conjure horrors the BBC could never afford to show. Sapphire rewinds moments to glean clues. Steel drains warmth to trap vengeful entities. Their chemistry veers from platonic to eldritch. Are they lovers, cosmic siblings, or simply avatars of universal balance? The show never says, layering mystery on dread. Watch today, and you'll sense Proto-X-Files vibes infused with stage play minimalism. Each assignment functions like a puzzle box. Break one rhyme, and specters breach. Misjudge one victim's grief, and centuries slip loose. No background score cues safety, leaving silence to tighten every nerve. The finale strands our agents in an otherworldly persona, nihilistic gut punch, daring you to sleep afterward. Sapphire and Steel proves that fear of the unknown beats any jump scare budget, cementing its status as cult classic you owe yourself. Too brave. There you have it, 12 cosmic cornerstones blazing across 70s television. They sparked franchises, reshaped genres, and still pulse with relevance. If any episode here ignites your curiosity, hunt it down, binge hard, then tell the algorithms by smashing like and subscribe. The retro future awaits. See you between the stars.